Hey, good morning, everyone. On behalf of Operation Rock, this is Clayton with a beautiful and lovely broadcast. God, I'm off today, people. My desk is all combobulated. I got to figure this one out, champ. I'm like halfway done today. I come into my office a little late. Everything's all over the place. My phone's behind me. Yikes. Let's hope the day starts moving better than this, people. So, today we're going to talk about the First Amendment right to freedom of speech. We're going to discuss whether or not you're allowed to make threats, you're allowed to curse people out, you're allowed to be insulting, because people, considering the nature of some of my past content, I think that's important. And I think it would give an explanation to my audience as to why I have never been arrested for what I'm saying. Because the truth is, people, I can't be. And thank God for knowledge, people. Thank God for an ability and for a hunger to want to learn and to want to be better. Because if I didn't have that knowledge, people, the enemy, the devil, the racists, the bigots who are trying to hurt me because of racism and bigotry, they would win. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was brought into court by a prosecutor, the prosecutor prosecuting Francina Evans. People, I told you, I have an incredibly intelligent offender. Now, some of my content does have profanity. So what my offender did was use AI to edit my content and alter it. And then she created an entire YouTube page where she was trying to make me seem like I was harassing her, when the truth is all I've been doing is advocating for this crazy bitch to leave me alone. People, I'm going to use some profanity in this broadcast, and I'm going to explain why. I know many Christians watch me, but I need to use the profanity in this to showcase and exhibit why the First Amendment protects my rights to freedom of speech. Because the truth is, the First Amendment does protect your right to freedom of speech. And the First Amendment specifically protects your rights against cursing people out. Ladies and gentlemen, you can curse people out legally and be protected by the First Amendment. And I'd like to list an example of that, which is a federal case called 32, I think it's 32 Federal Supplement, Second Division at 1282. And I'll also be quoting Watts 394, United States at 708-89, Supreme Court 1399. Basically, what this case law has established is that the First Amendment does not forbid name calling, it protects it. It even protects sharp attacks, like the attacks I've been making on Pastor Victor Brown, Michael McMahon, and the racist fat prosecutor who lied and threw Francina's prosecution on purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, racism is real, bigotry is real. And these people in power are so corrupt, their intention is to use the vast knowledge that comprises the system to keep you ignorant and to oppress you. That is how slavery has been transcended, people. Minorities, slavery has been transvested. Slavery has been transcended by manipulation of the legal system. This is how they enslave us now, people. They use these laws that are designed to get us locked up for the simplest and stupidest acts. But see, the forefathers of this great country, in their need to protect their own rights, they put certain protections in place that now protect me as a black man, considering we're supposed to be a country of equal rights and equal liberties to all. The rights I'm talking about is the right of the First Amendment, which guarantees you the right to freedom of speech and self expression. You can do this through a public meeting. You can do this in writing. You can write another. You are allowed to express yourself, because if they try to curtail the First Amendment, they curtail free speech. And this country is designed to protect the rights and liberties of individuals and free speech. So a prosecutor system cannot arrest you for calling a prosecutor racist, especially if you have reason to believe that prosecutor is racist. You can't be arrested because you call somebody a piece of shit. Because from the case I just cited, which was Watts 394, United States 708, people, that case law specifically says you have the right to curse someone out. People, it is your legal right to curse somebody out. You can call, hypothetically, you can call me a bitch ass nigga, excuse my language, if that's what you think, because you believe I'm a bitch ass nigga. Now, if I punch you in your face, I just assaulted you. So I'm going to jail. See, unfortunately, people, we don't like the way people talk to us, but it ain't breaking the law. I can call a fat woman a fat bitch. And guess what? It's hurtful, it's rude, it's obscene, but it's not illegal. I can call my ex girlfriend a woman who assaulted an infant child, burglarized my home, lied through her teeth, and literally compelled racism and bigotry to get out of a situation that she is 100% guilty of, a lying, conniving, stinking bitch. Because guess what? In my personal opinion, that's what I have come to believe this woman is. I can call Pastor Breaker Brown and Uncle Tom a sellout, a race trader, and a completely lying, conniving, fake pastor and a piece of shit. Because people, again, that's my First Amendment freedom of speech. It protects my self-expression. People, I can write it online. I can write a book about the things I know about Victor Brown, the betrayals to his church, how he cheated on his first wife, and I can call them all types of punks, pieces of shit, and ever. You know why, people? Because what I'm saying, although obscene and nasty, is the truth. And until Victor Brown can prove that the things I'm saying about the discrepancies that he did taken from his church or the violations to his first right, people, he can't do anything to me because all I'm doing is telling the truth. Until Michael McMahon can prove that I am legitimately doing something violent to anyone, they cannot arrest me for citing that the Staten Island District Attorney's Office is historically racist. Because the truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, the Staten Island District Attorney's Office is historically racist. Eric Garner, the thousands of minorities that have been falsely arrested and prosecuted due to racism on Staten Island, that's legitimate. People, when I say that corruption exists in the Essex County Prosecutor's Office, people, there are thousands of people who are corruptly prosecuted. People, a prosecutor who threw the case of Francina on purpose because I called her a fat racist bitch, she purposely threw the prosecution on Francina Evans. And I'm going to tell you why. People, there was discovery this woman intentionally held because it would show the court Francina was guilty. One of them is the text message that I put on my page where I show people, hey, listen, she took the dog and she tried to use it to make me sign over the business. People, Brenton Evans testified at Francina's trial, and they never played the recording of Brenton admitting that he knew Francina stole me. It was actually held out of discovery, even though the prosecutor had it. Now, people, why did the prosecutor do that? The prosecutor did that because about a week before I ever went and testified, she became aware of Cop Caller Clay. Cop Caller Clay is the channel that Francina was using AI to edit, making it appear like I was threatening people and I was irate and trying to hurt her. So this prosecutor personally allowed the things I said about the corruption in the prosecutor's office to sway her ethical obligation to adequately prosecute Francina Evans. So, people, I was locked out of the prosecution of Francina Evans. I forgot her name. I'll never forget this crazy bitch name. I was locked out of the prosecution. I wasn't even allowed to participate the last part of the prosecution or be any. I didn't even know they switched the prosecutor until 2 days ago, people. Now, there are certain laws that protect you against violations as a victim. And in New Jersey, it's the New Jersey Victim Rights Bill, which is incredibly detailed to the responsibilities of the state in accordance with a victim. People, a victim can't be locked out of the prosecution anytime after his testimony. He is allowed, he is supposed to be brought before a judge if there's possible misconduct or things that he needs to bring before a judge. People, the Essex County Prosecutor's Office forbid me from coming to the trial because, see, people, if I went to the trial of Francina Evans, she would have got convicted. No, people, what they did was secretly hold her trial, never tell me the date, never tell me what's going on. So, people, the reason that Francina Evans was acquitted is because the prosecution violated my victim rights and excluded the victim from the prosecution. So, of course, she got off because the victim never showed the information that would have convicted her. People, this corruption runs deep. But like I told you in the broadcast, what I said before, I'm okay that she got off because, people, the more they violate the more they violate the criminal justice process and my rights, the bigger the check gets, people. Clayton Howard doesn't ass talk. Clayton Howard doesn't make empty threats. There is a federal tort in against the Essex County prosecutor. No, there's a state tort in against the Essex County prosecutor, for $8 million. And there's a federal tort in against the racist prosecutor's office of Staten Island that falsely arrested me, that falsely prosecuted, and that continues to violate my victim rights for over $10 million. People, I've done everything in my power to work with these prosecutors. Everyone hears me. I've called the office. I've been respectful. I was completely honest with the Essex County Prosecutor's Office, people. But because I'm a black man and they don't want to give black male offenders the rights as victims, people, they violated my rights. So, people, again, I chose to empower myself. I chose to learn the law. I chose to invest the energy to become a better person so that these racists and bigots who thought I was an ignorant nigga, I could shock the world like Ali did when he fought George Foreman, and I could knock their ass out when it's on the 8th round and I'm on the ropes. And, people, that's all it is, people. I'm not on the ropes, but I'm Ali versus Foreman. I'm fighting a juggernaut, people, that's trying to beat on me from every side, and I'm using the 52 block system on them, people, and I'm enduring. That's all that's going on, people. But they don't realize, people, I'm a street kid who's been through a lot of stuff, people. This little punk ass paperwork stuff, this is a new arena for me, people. but I can easily do this because I've been dealing with men for years. You think I can't deal with a couple of cowards who hide behind books? Please, people, I can deal with any arena. I'm a very capable man. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, I fight for my First Amendment rights of freedom of speech. And in doing that, I empower others and teach you. This case, Watts, 394 United States, it's 708 89 Supreme Court, 1399. That case, people, you should highlight it. Because if you are ever brought to court for cursing somebody out, that case is the case that will vindicate you. You are legally allowed to curse someone out and use explicit language against them. Because if the government or the state tries to impose a law that puts that on you, what they're doing is they're limiting and suppressing free speech. And that's a violation of the First Amendment. So, yes, people, rough language and rough and coarse language, obscene language is rude. It hurts people's feelings. It's not nice. It's obscene, but it's not illegal. And people can say it. You can say whatever you want as long as it's not an untruth. You can say whatever you want. You can express whatever you want as long as it's not a lie on someone. As long as it's the definitive truth that you are telling someone, people, the First Amendment protects your rights to curse somebody the fuck out. So if I want to call Victor Brown a bigot and Uncle Tom and a piece of shit, I just did. If I want to call Mike McMahon a racist piece of shit who sets up black people, I just did. If I want to say that this fat prosecutor lied and purposely threw the prosecution of my offender and I have definitive proof to prove it, guess what? That fat bitch violated my rights, people, and they can't stop me due to the federal courts of the United States have already decided this, people. And I am proud today that I have the intelligence to break this down, to fight the oppression that's going on. See, people, Staten Island wants to arrest me, but see, Staten Island probably know about this case because the lawyers, they are smart people. They're not dumb. They just corrupt. They just racist. But you don't got to be dumb to be corrupt and racist. You just have to have negative views against the people you're supposed to protect. That is what the violation of somebody's rights entails, people. It's not always racism. It's bigotry too. But all it takes is for you to use your personal sentiments and feelings to deny somebody the equal protections and rights they deserve. And people, that makes you a bigot or a racist. And people, this is all I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with corruption. I'm dealing with people who have no ethics. But what they've been able to do, because they're cowards and punk ass people, they've been able to hide behind their cowardness until they got a good job, people. You don't need strength to get a good job. The only thing you do is need to be educated and stay out of trouble. And people, a lot of the time, see me when I was in high school, I was a drug dealer. I was a troubled kid. I'll be honest with you, people. I was always in trouble. I was always in the street. I was a gang member. Like the kids that was in high school. And the thing about me in high school is I wasn't a bully. I was friends with everybody. So those little quiet kids with the book bag that was in school doing their work and stuff, I was cool with them, people. Those are the kids that became the lawyers. Now, people, they were quiet the whole time growing up because they had no confidence. They might have been fat. They might have been ugly. They might have been broke. But now when they become lawyers, people, they get money. They learn the law. They learn the swagger of learning how to move through society. So this is what gives the quiet, cornball, Urkel kids in class that never did nothing. This is what gives them the swagger when you see them 34, 20 years later, and they like, yo, what's up, man? They lawyers now. They doctors now. Society and life have given them the confidence they did not have when they were children. And this is what you deal with most of the times when you deal with cops and prosecutors. You deal with ex-pussies who deal with people. Is there anything wrong with that? No. I honestly commend it. I commend it. I have gained such a respect for the law, even though the law is corrupt, people. I truly respect the process of the law. I respect the amount of discipline it takes to learn it because there's a lot to learn, people. And I'm grateful that I have managed to. I'm really grateful that I have managed to I would say, gain the understanding, the capacity to want to do this, people. I'm thankful for my offender. I'll be honest, because without my offender, people, I would not be embarking on the change I'm going, people. Sometimes people have to do really messed up stuff for you to change and see life differently. And people, Francina Evans did that to me. She lied on me. She robbed me. She beat my fucking daughter. She insulted my dead mother. This woman is a horrible person. So I say to anybody who thinks that I want this woman, that you're crazy. I want nothing to do with a woman who would do all this to me, people. But I'm thankful to her and her lion ass family, because if they had not done what they done to me, people, I would not be the man standing before you today who can legally tell you that you have the right to curse somebody out. And I'm going to cite the case again. It's 394 Watts. Oh my God. What was it? Da-da-da-da-da. I like to have notes, people. It's Watts, 394 United States at 708, people. The First Amendment does not limit a person's right to curse you the fuck out, especially if you've done something wrong. So the next time somebody comes at you and says, "Oh, he cursed me out," yeah, the cops might arrest you, but when you go to court, you make sure you know your rights. You make sure you realize that this federal statute that protects you cursing somebody out. People, I'm gonna read it to you again because this is important. The First Amendment does not forbid name calling; it protects it, even protecting sharp attacks like the attacks I've been making on a prosecutor and a racist fucked up ex-girlfriend, people. And that is a federally cited case where the Supreme Court, excuse me, asserted that an individual is allowed to curse somebody the fuck out and use sharp language. So people, Staten Island, Essex County, whoever the fuck want it, come with it, people. You ain't got an ignorant nigga. You got somebody who has no problem opening the very same laws that you trying to use against me. And I got the ability to understand them. That's what makes me dangerous. That's why the Essex County Prosecutor's Office has thrown my prosecution and locked me out, because they know if they let me in a courtroom, they got a fucking problem. That's why Staten Island is doing everything in their power to try to stop my speech, because people, my speech is empowering the community and it's telling the truth. They don't want me to tell black men that you can't be arrested for cursing someone out. People, they want you to be stupid. Clayton wants you to wake up. I want the eyes of my brothers to wake the hell up so we can see the corruption that's going on in prosecutor's office, like Essex County, New Jersey, and Staten Island. See, people, I was deceived. I truly thought that this prosecutor was a good woman, but she wasn't, people. She was a lying, racist piece of shit. And all she did was, what's the word? She rainmaid me, people. She lullabied me, people. She used her sweet position to make me think she was an honest person. People, I've always had a weakness for fat people because I know fat people get picked on. So yeah, people, I try to be nicer to fat girls because I know fat girls going through it. And this is why I was nice to this prosecutor, because I really felt bad for her as a fat woman. I'm like, damn, she probably been picked on her whole life. She kind of reminded me of the character off of the YouTube, not the YouTube, the Cool Whip container, like that little piece of Cool Whip with the smile on it. That's what the prosecutor reminded me of. So people, she gave me such good feelings about my childhood in the Cool Whip, man. How the hell could I not like her, people? She was sweet. She was nice. She seemed like she was honest to me. People, it broke my damn heart when I realized this lady was lying to me for over a year, people. I cried in the bathroom of this damn court for probably 30 minutes. Once I realized how bad this woman had betrayed me, people. But people, when I really thought about it, people, I couldn't be mad at her. It was my fault. I allowed myself to be stupid enough to believe that this woman was telling the truth. People, she's a racist white woman. Why would she ever help a black man like me? White women don't help black men that are racist. And this woman was racist. So people, my rights were denied. My justice was denied me. I was robbed of the justice that this prosecutor's office promised me for over a year, which legally gives me the ground to sue the living shit out of them. And that's what I'm going to do. Prayerfully, they'll be served today with that lawsuit because they scared to death of this lawsuit, people. People, I went to court and it was 8 prosecutors in the court against me. That shit is crazy. People, I'm in family court because the woman is lying, saying I'm cyber harassing her. I've been contacting the office of the fucking prosecutor for a year and they never helped me. But because I called this white woman a fat racist bitch, it's a bunch of prosecutors in there trying to make sure a judge convicts me. But people, they fucked up. They didn't realize I knew as much about the law as I did. So people, as much as this woman tried to say I was getting her, people, even in my inability to properly represent myself, because I still don't know the process of like representing myself. I'm not a lawyer. I can just read. People, I was still chopping her up. No, Your Honor, I can express myself. So at the end of this hearing, the judge says to me, she says to the fat lying prosecutor, she says, you have some First Amendment issues. And she cites the very case that I'm telling you, and she tells me and this woman to go through this case. So people, Clayton Howard was up all night last night. I really was. Because people, knowledge is power, and the ability to free yourself, the ability to empower yourself, like a Saiyan, hypothetically, in Dragon Ball Z, people, it energizes you. You'll never want to sleep once you find something you love or something that gives you enough energy to keep going. And people, my personal freedom, protecting the rights of my community has infused me with an energy I haven't had in years. So people, I set up all night. And if no one believes me, I'm going to share my screen. I set up all night reading constitutional law. Reading federal law all night, people. I set up reading federal law. Probably 30 cases I read last night, people. And I found this case. This case right here. This is a New Jersey case, but it cites federal law in this case, and it cites how you can legally curse somebody the fuck out and get away with it. People, this is so real. This has been such a beautiful thing for me. The awakening of knowledge that has come from me, people. I am so happy that this has happened to me. I really want to show people this because honestly, the story that is told in this beautiful act that shows us what we can do is about black people. So, and just to do this, actually, we're getting kind of in. I don't like making these broadcasts too long. I think I'll make a part two to this so that it doesn't get long. People know your rights, know your protections. Never allow these racist bastards in these prosecutors' office. Never allow these unethical cops and prosecutors to deny you the protections of your First Amendment right to freedom of speech. Now, I should warn you, you can't curse somebody out and tell them you're going to punch them in their fucking face because that's a threat of physical violence and that'll get you arrested. So, as long as you curse them out and you don't threaten them physically, people, you're good. As long as you don't imply you're going to threaten them, because that's key. If I'm telling you all this, I need to tell you the pitfalls also. You can legally curse someone out, but you can't threaten them. You can't threaten them with violence. That's the key. There has to be violence or an imminent attempt to do something that is going to unlawfully hurt them. It has to be unlawful. The content that comes from the cursing or the whatever, the profane language, it cannot be threatening in any capacity. Meaning that if it's threatening to the point where it's determined that there's going to be some type of physical violence, that's going to get you arrested. So as long as you can control your language where it doesn't seem like people getting hurt, guess what? You can tell somebody, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you bitch, you bitch, 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 and they can't do nothing to you. So people, I'm going to keep speaking up against the injustice of racism in Staten Island. I'm going to keep speaking up against the prosecutor who violated my rights, lied through her teeth to a court to protect herself from a federal lawsuit because she's a piece of shit. Because people, that's exactly what this woman is. This fat pig woman is a lying piece of shit. I cannot believe this woman did this to me, people. I can't believe she did it. And then she would have the audacity to sit back and lie through her teeth like she didn't do this. Because people, here's the truth. The prosecutors you think are ethical, they're pathological liars. This is how they get people convicted. If this woman could lie this bad on me in a family court matter, people, she's a criminal prosecutor. Imagine how many innocent black men are in jail because of this corrupt, lying prosecutor. People, I'm going to use in every drop of knowledge I have gained in the last 6 months. I'm going to devote that energy to exposing what happened to me. People, this woman could be afraid to lose her job. If she loved her job, she would have did the right thing and she would have upheld the standards of her profession. She would not have lied, and that lie is going to cost her. People, this is not a threat, it's a promise. It's not illegal to promise somebody that you're going to use your intelligence to use every means to get the justice that you were robbed. And people, Clayton Howard was robbed. I was horribly robbed by a corrupt law enforcement system and by racists and bigots employed in those systems. And I choose to fight. So, on behalf of justice, this went about 8 minutes longer than I want, but I hope it was informative. I hope that the laws that I cited in this broadcast is enough to empower the people who truly advocate for free speech to keep going, because they can't stop you for telling the truth. You tell your truth, you speak your message, you stand on business, you speak your shit, people, because at the end of the day, that's what the First Amendment was designed to do. Protect your rights against freedom of speech and self-expression. On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, people, my mission is to continue to empower, like, share,